Welcome, Duelist, to the first episode of Playing YGO Poorly. I'm your host, Four Ice Counters. I'm going to talk a little bit about my deck of choice and then play at least one match on the ranked YGO Omega ladder. Try and bear with me. I like playing Maliss, which, one, I'm behind. And two, I'm at a point now where between locals, recent regional, and online play, I'm having the most fun just thinking through creative ways to build the deck and play the deck in ways my opponents might not be expecting, while also obviously not completely sabotaging my chance to win. So I've got the deck in front of me in order from top to bottom. I'm running one nib in the main. We'll see how I feel about it. I don't know how to feel about nib right now. If you have strong opinions about nib, throw them in the comment section below. I think it's a good card whenever I see it played, in matches that are streamed or at locals or against me. It feels like a good card, and whenever I run it in my deck, it feels like a bad card. There's got to be a name for something like that. After that, I am running two Baldrake as well as a Druis Worm and a Magnemite. I'm not sure if that's the right ratio, but it's what I'm going with. I think Baldrake is a pretty underrated card right now, not just against Maliss, but against most decks. After that, I'm only running one Chessie. One Chessie, two Chessie, three Chessie. I'm not a huge fan of this card in multiples. I think the first one has a lot of value, especially if you can play it from the deck. In my opening hand, I'm not crazy about it. There's a lot of Droll running around. There's a lot of Ash Blossom everywhere. That draw 2 ability is pretty sus. And so it's the worst starter of the Malice names. So there you go. I'm running 2 Ghost Bell. I think Ghost Bell is a fantastic hand trap. I've seen some folks whose opinion I respect say it's not very good. I just think between Fiendsmith and Mitsu and Rogue decks, the ability to turn off plays from the graveyard is valuable. One allure, sort of like the honorary Chessie Cat. Maybe Chessie Cat is the honorary allure. Not 100% sure how to feel about this. 2 Ultimate Slayer. I'm working on some different ideas around how to play Maliss going second, and not just on accident, but like going first. On purpose. I think Ultimate Slayer's in a good position. Talk more about that when we get to the extra deck. Then the rest of the deck is pretty standard. I don't run Imperm currently. It reminds me of Nib. When my opponent plays it, it's like the best card ever played. And when I play it, it feels like the worst card in my hand, in my deck at locals. I am running GWC in the main. Not sure. That could probably be a side deck card. But I have it in the main for now because for whatever reason, I tend to draw my MTP07 in my opening hand. And so the ability to grab another Malice trap through the effect of Rabbit or Binder is valuable to me. If it gets to a point where I stop drawing the MTP07, then maybe I can ditch the GWC. Extra deck is a little spicy. I'm having a lot of fun. One with Ultimate Slayer, having good targets in the extra deck space in Malice is pretty tight. So what I've done is I've cut a lot of the top end. I'm a big believer that the top end in Malice is the least necessary part of the deck. Specifically, Ignister, the new Ignister, Link 5, Firewall Dragon, and other options people might be running. Instead, my top end is Bomber Dragon or Access Code Talker, in addition to the 3 Malice names, some pretty standard Link 2s, as well as pretty standard Link 1s. I'm going for Link Disciple over a second Link Rebo because of that light attribute is highly valuable when banishing monsters of different attributes off of Access Code Talker. It also serves a very similar purpose. 1 level 4 or lower one level 4 or lower Cyberus monster is what's required to link summon it. So, 2 Link Rebo, 1 Link Rebo, 1 Link Disciple. We'll see how I feel about it as I continue playing. So going back to my Ultimate Slayer targets, I'm running Sky Crisis for Detonator, for Wave High King Caesar, for Baguska, for whatever the heck my opponent might play in the XYZ territory. It's also just a good card to have. There are definitely games where, kind of like a nib, opponents aren't really expecting it. They've not really played around it. And then it just shows up, turns something off, I think it'll send card back to the deck, back to the hand, which a lot of times if you're sending an extra deck monster, it's going back to the deck. Firewall Saber Dragon is for my synchro target. It can also be summoned. It can be synchro summoned off of backup and wizard. And if it's sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add an AI spell from your deck to your hand. That can be valuable in the second or third game when I bring in AI Meet You. And then I have the Cyberus Fusion monster here, which is a good target for a lot of the nonsense running around, Blue Eyes, Rogue decks, so on. And then this has the added benefit of being able to banish it from your graveyard to negate the activation of a spell or trap if you control a Link 4 or higher Cyberus monster. Extra deck, I run 3 Lancia, I run Thrust with Sanctum, Dimension Ground, and Mischief. I guess some of my spicier cards would include an extra extender in the side. I almost want to make this my 41st main deck card. I love EMP Meow Mine. It's just a pet card from when I played Salamangreat. Works similar to like a backup or a wizard. You have the ability to special summon it from hand. If there's a link monster on the field or in graveyard, which gives it a lot of value in matches where you might be a little hard off trying to get your Maliss names onto the field or keep monsters onto the field. 1 copy of Meet You as a thrust target, valuable when your opponent has Lancia'd you. And then in addition to the 2 Ultimate Slayers, I'm running a Slicer. I think this card's fun. I want to try it out. I have no idea if it's actually going to be valuable in a game, so we'll find out together. 1 Sales Ban, also a target for Thrust. I think this is a great card when going second, when you know what your opponent's playing, when you can see their board and what they've put out there. I think it's terrible when going first and guessing what your opponent might have in their hand. Don't do that. Plus Triple Tactics Talent. Very, very good card, as everyone knows. Worth playing in the main or the side until it's banned, if it's ever banned. And then I'm doing 2 copies of Mistaken Arrest. I'm a huge fan of Deck Lockdown, but I'm trying Mistaken Arrest because I do like the quick effect value, and I like that it wears off a little bit sooner because I have had instances where Deck Lockdown stayed on the field. 2 things happen. 1, Deck Lockdown stays on the field, which could make it a target for like a Nightmare Phoenix or a Feather Duster, some kind of spell or trap, some kind of effect that pops the lockdown and breaks the floodgate, whereas Mistaken Arrest, you'll use it and then, it's just part of what your opponent and you have to deal with, and there's no way to pop it, so to speak. You'd have to negate it on the spot. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some ranked gameplay. I'm in silver right now for those of you who play YGO Omega and are very good at the game. Don't worry about having to waste your time playing me, but I'm enjoying playing, even though I don't have a high rank, and I wouldn't exactly say I'm a great Malice player. So we'll see how long it takes to find an opponent, and we will begin our initial ranked match, YGO Omega ladder, of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly with 4 ice counters. Opponent is going first. I have very little to stop them other than draw, which could be a problem. But I built the deck to go second, so maybe our 6th card will be an Ultimate Slayer. Or generally speaking, we'll just have some luck. Memento. Okay. While we wait for our opponent to continue, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more Maliss content, more YGO Omega content, or more episodes of me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly. This is the kind of content that I like to fall asleep to. Hopefully, if you're watching this and you're trying to go to sleep, I hope you get a good night's sleep. At this rate, I might fall asleep. I don't know if the win condition of Memento is to put your opponent to sleep and win in time, but we shall see. We're going to get to Droll here after the effect of the Anguish. We'll see how impactful that is. It's my only hand trap, so we will play it. You know, to be fair, I have not played a lot against Memento in YGO at locals. I didn't see it at the Duluth Regional I competed at. So it's a good opponent for the inaugural episode of Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly. I don't have time to read all this. I will, if I see this deck more than once or twice in the next week, I'll try to learn some of the cards. I know it performed really well. I know it won a YCS. I think it might have won a Nationals or some other big tournament not terribly long ago as well. What I'll probably do is let's maybe try and catch up on some stuff. One thing I'm not crazy about with YGO Omega, I think it's a great simulator. I prefer it to Dueling Book because, one, I'm bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! And two, I just enjoy the aesthetic. It reminds me of it, for anyone here who plays Magic, the difference between Magic, MTGO, Magic Online, and MTG Arena. The grinders are on Dueling Book, the grinders are on MTGO, with their poor graphics and their manual clicking and keyboarding. I don't have patience for that, and I'm not good enough to keep track of all the triggers and hold my opponent accountable for their triggers. And I would just go to locals before I play Dueling Book. I would have much more fun just playing the game in person if it's going to be that manual of a process. So I really enjoy it. You get the little pop of the artwork. You get the a pretty clean aesthetic. Shout out to the YGO Omega team. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not partnered with them. I just think it's my preferred outlet for creating bad Yu-Gi-Oh! Content right now. I don't know what's going on with my opponent. I think I'm about to win on time. Well, folks, there you have it. We go to game 2, first in the inaugural episode of Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly. We win game 1 due to time limit. So my opponent's going to get to choose to go first or second. They have no idea what I'm playing other than Droll. I assume they're going to choose to go first again. So let's kind of let's adjust our sideboard for that. Well, they don't know we're on Maliss, or I would take out... Well, that's something I forgot to mention. This version of the deck does not run Terraforming or Gold Sark. I think anytime there's these are honorary cards or these are standard cards, those are just worth questioning. Why? You don't have to play Terraforming, you don't have to play Gold Sark. That might be blasphemous to some, but I'm a big believer in just breaking out of that mindset, if at all possible. What do I want to do here? Need to drop at least. Okay, we'll drop the GWC. Okay. So pretty simple. I'm going to side in the Slicer and the... what the heck was the other one? Oh, the sales ban. I'm going to take out Called By, which is really better when going first and maybe getting Charming. I assume my opponent's going to want to go first here. I could be wrong. Yeah. 2 Ghost Spells. Oh, this is wonderful. We've got great going second cards. We've got a starter. We've got hand traps. Just put this hand in the Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly Hall of Fame. I cannot wait to butcher my plays with such a lovely opening hand when going second. We've seen the Anguish. They're going to add a monster from deck to hand. Yeah, let me know in the comments if Memento is a deck that you expect to see more of, less of, or the same amount of as the new sets are released and new support comes out for some other decks. I can't tell if Memento's like a highly competitive rogue deck or if it's actually a deck to study up against and be super thoughtful of. In my experience, again, I'm bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't seen a lot of Memento at locals, which I try to attend weekly. Didn't see it at the Duluth Regional, but I know it's been out there. I know it's competed well in other events. What are they trying to do? Well, we've got some hand traps, so let's use them. The Sleepy. If this card is destroyed, okay. And see, this is where they're going to put a fusion monster on the board. And I wonder if they're going to build like a half board and pass. That's where Ultimate Slayer discarding the Cyber's fusion monster comes into play. We'll see. My goodness, they're down to 2 cards in hand. What have they put on the board? They've put one of the boss monsters on the board. Oh boy. I do have another Ghost Spell, which could be valuable. You can send 3 Memento cards from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. You can target an equal number of Memento monsters you control, and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. Yeah, I'm going to be stuck. See, this is where, like, I have 2 Ghost Spells in my deck, and I drew both of them in my opening hand. That's obnoxious. That is just a dead card. Maybe it'll have value on my turn, but pretty obnoxious to have to sit here watching my opponent utilize the graveyard. And, maybe I should have saved this Ghost Spell for a more important play. So, in terms of my Memento spreadsheet, use Ghost Spell wisely. That's my advice. Because now look at my opponent. Look at all those goobers on that side of the field. All sorts of nonsense going on. You gonna pass? What are we doing? Yeah, so I'm really excited because I have a feeling my opponent's going to pass at some point, right? That's how the game is played, or they're going to lose on time limit again. Shout out to my opponent, rectangle, 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 silly face, rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. Oh goodness. what are we going to do here? We've got SP. We've got Memento King. I just need to order this correctly. That's obnoxious. One other thing about Omega, I just need to learn how the game is played a little more. I just want to read this card. My goodness. I can't read a card if I want to. Your opponent monsters must attack monster you control with the highest attack. Okay. Let's do... Okay. So first thing we're going to do, let's take our sweet time. Let's... All right, let's do this. I'm going to dump... Let's just be real silly here. Let's dump... Heartscriptor. I'm down to 3 seconds. Look at that. After all that nonsense. See, that's what we do here at Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly. Oh, nice. Got a ghost spell out of their hand. Okay. Here we go. So this is why we have Almirage. This is going to be a tough one. I don't know enough about what do they have that won't allow me to play Gordian Slicer. I just don't know enough about what I don't know. Go into Splash Mage. Splash Mage, Dormouse. Don't really like doing this under such a tight clock. So let's check the field. I need to understand more what happened that when you control a mental monster, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field. Why couldn't I play at the start of your main phase 1 or 2? See, now I understand. Okay. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna let them go first again. So this is where I want them to go first. I'm gonna bring in a couple of things. This is where they'll know about Malice, so banishing will be less impactful. Ash seems a little less impactful. All right, let's do this. We'll go second. Oh my goodness! Look at this hand. All 3 draws. I actually, against a Mitsu Raizo player at locals, drew all 3 draws in my opening hand once, not that long ago. So this might be a good omen or a bad omen, because I got my butt kicked in that match. I was playing Malice against Mitsu Raizo. My opponent was very good and played very good cards, and I'm very bad, and I had 3 draws in my opening hand. We do what we can around here. I should probably save this, but it's good. I'm getting to know Memento. For those of you who are returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Or new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe this match will... Oh boy, we got a normal summon Veiler. My goodness, what are we even doing here? Goblin Biker. What is my opponent doing? Gotta love it. 3 draws in hand, and my opponent has yet to add a card from deck to hand. Just fantastic stuff. This is the kind of stuff you should come to expect from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly. It helps us answer the hardest, toughest questions, like what happens if you open 3 draws and your opponent doesn't add any cards to hand? You are looking at the answer. Well, we've got some targets for Baldrake, which is nice. I think my opponent must be new to the deck. Oh, boy. There you have it, folks. We have won. Well, let's go back to the deck real quick. So that was our first episode of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Poorly. Maliss versus Memento. Just as a friendly reminder, I'm running a very, very suboptimal version of the Maliss deck. No Gold Sark, no Terraforming, no Imperm. 1 Nib, 4 Bistals, 1 Chessie Cat. My extra deck does not include the Omni Negate Allied Code, nor does it include Firewall Dragon. My extra deck is a complete disaster of random cards, and yet we emerge victorious. Now, if this match was being played at locals, I would have lost in 2. I would have lost game 1 and game 2. I would have spent half the game reading those Memento cards, making small talk with my opponent, asking him or her how long they've played the deck for, and they would then help me with my Malice plays because they would know my deck better than I do. But for today, I think that's a really strong showing. We're technically undefeated. If you enjoyed watching me wipe the floor with Memento, please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what your opinions are of this version of the deck, what you think of the deck choices, what you think of my gameplay. If you think you could play the deck more poorly than me, hope you have a great night.